Hello, this is Eldoric The Guardian Tank, and what we're going to be talking about this time is, by this point in the beta, we pretty much have our method to gaining Rage. And Rage is one of those resources that it's been constantly messed with. Trust me, any warrior out there knows what I'm talking about since the beginning of WoW. So, what we have here is we're going to go through how a druid produces rage as a guardian druid. Now this is different than how a warrior does it. There's a separate video for the warriors, go check out that one if you want to see how it works. But for this one we're going to talk about the unique way that a guardian druid produces its resource in order to use active mitigation. Okay, now as you can see I have Eldoric right here ready to go. I'm intentionally starting out at 0 rage. Another thing I want to point out is people sometimes ask me, why do I have the basic setup here and no add-ons even though they're allowed in the beta? When I do videos, I typically like to turn all of them off. So anyone watching, no matter what the setup they have is, can be like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. And then they can adapt it to whatever add-ons, like Bartender or whatever they have that messes with their screen the way they like it. Alright, anyway, with that said, let's move on to how the druid produces rage. Now, there's a couple of things you need to know. Now, the way it works in Mist of Pandaria with active mitigation is that by attacking, you generate resources, and then you use those resources to use defensive abilities. We've talked about that in the past, and there's videos about that. But how are you getting those resources? Alright, well, in the past, it had to do with a lot of you getting hit. Well, that's been taken out, and that's good, because now you just can't stand in front of the boss and be flooded with rage all the time. You actually have to work constantly to produce it in order to use your defensive abilities, like Savage Defense and Frenzy Regeneration in the case of the Guardian Druid. Now, here's the main one you have to worry about. We're going to look down here over to Mangle. Auto attack is in there, so I will talk about auto attack. That's why it's on the bar. And I also like to be able to disengage at the press of a button. Doesn't hurt anything. Alright, Mangle. Now, this produces 5 rage because I have it talented to produce an extra 2. But it can produce up to 7. But 5 base. So what that means is every time I go in here and hit Mangle, I get 5 rage. So that's the first part. The second part is auto attack. Every time I auto attack, I actually gain rage. In this case, I believe it's 6 rage. There, let's test it out. Boom, 6, and you can see it going up. Now, you just saw my rage jump up. That is because of this ability right here. Primal Fury. Gain an additional 15 rage every time you deal critical strike with an auto attack or mangle. Okay? So, in terms of the bear, what we really care about is we need crit. Crit appears on all of your gear, because we're using what is generally considered to be DPS leather, though at this point, with the Brewmaster and the Guardian Druid, sharing with the Rogue and Feral Cats, it's kind of even split more or less between the two. But you have crit. The gear you're using is really designed for DPSers. So what you have here is Blizzard attempting to make critical strike something you really want to do. And since it goes into your auto attack, it makes things like haste a little bit better. Now, haste is not a great stat in general. It's going to be theorycrafted out a little bit, but in Cataclysm, it's something you never really wanted. It was pretty much wasted. Now, because it affects your auto attack and everything, there is some benefit to having it. It isn't huge, but it's there. So I'm just going to burn off a little of this rage right here. Okay, as you can see, I'm hitting. Okay, and you can watch my crits. They're easy to see. And those are what's going to allow me to build up rage quickly. And compared to what the warrior has right now, they're just about even, though very different. I'm actually surprised with how well Blizzard has done making them different, but more or less equal. And all you have to do is tweak numbers to get it. Okay, so let's go over all these rage generation factors we have. Number 1, you have Mangle. Every time you use it, you're going to get 5 rage, unless you have it talented to give you an extra 2, which will give you 7. Every time you crit with an auto attack or Mangle, you get an extra 15 rage. In fact, that's really your moneymaker right there. That's what you want to be getting all the time. Tons of crits, boom, 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 all the rage you possibly want. So it's good to have on your gear. Another thing you got to consider is Lacerate. Lacerate has a chance to reset the cooldown on Mangle, which then goes right back into your ability to produce rage. And of course, you get the same benefit with Thrash. There's a 25% chance to reset your Mangle. So even when you're using an AoE, there's a reason to hit Mangle. Just hit this guy a few more times. So one last time. What do we got here? Mangle. Hit it on cooldown. Last rate refreshes Mangle. Gives you rage. Every time you get Mangle, every time you crit with Mangle, you get an extra 15 rage. Every time you critical strike with an auto attack, very important, auto attack or Mangle, you get that extra 15 rage. And that is how the Guardian Druid will be producing rage in Mist of Pandaria.